This is the process flow of a clinical trial data. So clinical trial is happening how a data would flow. Not that clinical trial is happening and we will directly get the data for our data analysis when we work in a STTM or in ADAM or in a TLF. There is a certain process flow through which data would come. Clinical trial is happening, data would come through a EDC tool. EDC means electronic data capturing. In earlier time, there used to be a paper CRF kind of a thing where the data would come in a paper and then it would be again entered through the process of data entry to a system. Now we have an electronic data capturing tool. These are some of the tool you have. Rave, Inform, Oracle, and most commonly nowadays, many companies using Viva Vault. The trial which I'm working currently, it is using Viva Vault. With these EDC tool, the data would come to a team called as clinical data management, or we also call this as a DM, data management simply. We are not working here in a CDM. Once data is coming to a CDM team, enter data, someone from the site means where the trial is happening. It may be a hospital. We won't call it as a hospital. We'll call it as a site where trial is happening. Some site coordinator will enter all the data into this tool and it will come to a team called as CDM. What CDM will do, they will give you a SAS data sets. Before that, they will do some edit check just to see if the data is clean or not. They'll check the data has the quality or not. They will do some medical coding. They will also do some reconciliation kind of a thing. They will also do some adverse event kind of some listing they will create. That is different. That is a CDM job. What we should understand is we are going to receive our data, or we call it as a raw data, what we are going to receive, input data set for us. That we are going to receive it from the CDM, clinical data management team. From this tool, they will create a SAS data set because we are more, our system are made to use a SAS data set, right? So they will create a SAS data sets and then they will provide to our team, which is called as the STTM. Here we are looking into in this team. From here, our work start as a statistical programmer. If we receive a data, what STTM team will do? We will make a data set standard. Data what we receive is not a standard from the CDM. When we say data has to be standard, it means we have a standard data set name, structured or standard variable. We have something called as the STTM implementation guide. We have to follow all the rules and regulation and we have to make this data set, which is not a structure, which is not a standard. We will make it standard and structured. Every bit of a data which is collected in a trial should be easily identified. That is what we are doing in STTM team, making a data set standard. If the data set is not a standard, it would be very difficult for the regulatory authorities to review data. And if it's taking more time, let's say all the sponsors, who are the sponsors? We can take example. Let's say you have Novo Nordisk, you have Novartis, GSK, Pfizer. These are the some of the common. If we have a data set already standard, it will take less time for the regulatory authorities like FDA for a review. And if we are able to save the time, that means we would also save some investment as well. And data set is more consistent and structured. Understood why we have STTM? That's the whole purpose, making a data set standard. Once the data set is made a standard, it would be passed to a next team, which is a ADAM. We are creating a STTM data sets here using the raw data set what we have received from CDM team. Once STTM is completed, we are going to create a ADAM dataset. Purpose of our ADAM dataset is to create a dataset ready for the analysis. We are not doing any analysis here. We are just making a dataset standard here using the guidelines of a STTM. All the analysis we are going to perform at the ADAM dataset level. And once that is complete, ADAM dataset would be the input for your TLF. Using all the ADAM dataset, we are going to create table listing figure, or also we call it as a graph. We cannot create TLF just by using the STTM data. It has to follow the process sequentially. Once your TLF is created, then our study submission package is ready. We're going to submit all these things, STTM datasets, ADAM datasets, TLF, along with the documentation to the regulatory authorities for their review.
I have a question.
Yeah.
You said that while implementing the data for SDTM, we don't do analysis on data. But I'm just curious, as far as I remember, we do a lot of analysis on data. I don't get this ADAM part.
Come again.
So you said that while we are performing SDTM, or while we are just making the data standard, we do a lot of analysis on the data, right?
Correct.
We perform a
Not
lot
in
of
STTM.
checks.
STTM purpose is to just make a dataset standard as per the STTM implementation guide. We are
Right.
not doing any analysis. For analysis, you have a separate document, which is called as SAP. We'll look into that when we start ADAM classes. Using that document, what is the requirement is there for analysis? We'll go through the entire document, and then we'll decide how analysis has to be performed at the ADAM level.
Sir, this one for STDM analysis, so I could understand from the chart flow. From DM currently, if data is transferred on a monthly basis, as the workflow happens on a monthly basis, like we receive from the data from the DM, again we do the data set analysis, standard data set, then add them. Like that, every month the cycle will happen.
Yeah, so this is something which I'm going to discuss. So yeah, see, clinical trial is happening. Let's say the duration is 6 months. And it is decided with the collaboration with the DM, STTM, everyone. We have agreed that we are going to receive a data, let's say every month. That means we need to create this data set every month. Whenever we receive a data, we are going to create our data set. First time, let's say that it is planned in the next month that we are going to receive a data for a first time. That time you have to write the code from the scratch.
Okay.
And again, when the new data keep on coming, it's just a rerun of your own program. That's all.
Okay.
Okay. So yeah, it's all depend upon the frequency of our data transfer. If it's the trial is for, let's say, for 3-year duration, which is of a phase 3 trial, and it is decided that every 3 months or every quarterly you are going to receive every 3 months. That means every 3 months you need to rerun your data set. Entire process will start. Only thing is this submission will not be done until unless you have the trial completed. This we don't do every month or every 3 months. Submitting the package. It's only when the clinical trial is completed, then we are going to submit everything at the very end, after the end of 3 years. Before that, every 3 months, this data set has to be created. Again, ADAM data set has to be created. TLF will be created. Why it will be created? To just know that, see, the trial is ongoing. That means we have more and more data coming on. More and more subject is getting recruited. So we will get to know if we have more data, more subject, we'll get to know how the safety is, how the efficacy is going on. So it helps the clinician, safety team, right? These teams to understand how the drug is working. At the end, it will go for a submission.